awaken the divine consciousness. I'm a spiritual consultant and transformation coach using the tools of astrology, tarot, sound healing, and ritual, connecting my clients back to their magic and cosmic selves. With this video, I wanted to share a little insight about loneliness. It is the holiday season, and as far away from loneliness as we could imagine to be, there's a lot of people out in the world that do feel this at the most intense times. When we're supposed to be with family and loved ones, we find ourselves feeling isolated. So, why talk about loneliness? I wanted to share, really my own personal experiences in hopes to really inspire and to enlighten a new path of what loneliness really means in our lives. First, I just wanted to share that my own astrological chart has a very profound aspect, and this aspect is isolation from society. And I've experienced this in many different ways in my life, especially as a child. I inhibited a lot of food allergies, and those food allergies took me away from being part of the pizza parties and being able to do what every other little kid could do. And this leaves an imprint that you're different and you're special, and what does it all really mean? And then, of course, this took me into my young adulthood and really was activated during my Saturn return. And so this loneliness, this isolation, this separation, and the feeling of not being normal, whatever normal means, but what everyone else is doing, I was different. And I feel a lot of people are going through this experience because we have asked for this experience. Now, what I mean by that, so me knowing my astrology and looking at my chart and seeing that I have this huge isolation from society was a contract that I made with my soul for this lifetime. And so instead of seeing it as this curse or any other way of looking at it, I see it as my gift. So I often look at the wounds and how we nourish the wounds by actually living from them and working through them. And so loneliness is really about a profound gift of working with spirit. And so even as a little girl, I had this isolation from all these kids, but what I did do is I went and talked to trees. I went and learned about the ancient myths of our universe by sitting in the forest and being quiet and listening. And as a child, there was this really profound moment when we moved states, and I was home alone a lot, and I was learning about homeschooling and all these things. And then that's when I found my voice. I was always a very shy little girl, and all of a sudden I was writing this poetry, and I was writing movies, and I found my voice and my creativity at the age of 12. And as I learn and develop and grow through this skill, I think the biggest challenge is when you're in relationship, is when you know you need this time and this space for yourself in order to connect and to create with that aspect. And I also want to say a lot of empaths and light workers, they need space, not to, go into this darkness or however you want to discuss that place, but it's to get a different perspective, to go deeper, to go into the deeper magic of creation. And so it's when we unplug and get away from distractions. And this is also a training tool for medicine people or shamans, people that often are having to be isolated from the rest of society in order to have a bigger perspective to then bring back to society. To find shamans often went into forest and went on journeys, and they came back with the medicine in order to heal themselves or their clients. And so these are tools. This loneliness tool, if you experience it, is a profound gift. So when you're having this kind of resistance of, everyone else is going and celebrating the holidays, you're like, wow, this is my time to work. This is my time to get creative. And when you start filling yourself up and you have your creative power and that creative awareness and intelligence about what is needed to thrive in this life, that can be a profound key to having healthier relationships, specifically with yourself. And not going into that victim place of, oh, it's the world against me, because it's not. It's the world asking of you. So they always say that we're never alone. And I know there's all sorts of different philosophies, but it's really, no, you're not alone. You may not have this physical best friend next to you or a physical mom or dad, but you will have a profound energy around you when you connect to spirit, because that's why they say we're never alone, because there's this huge spiritual world that is alive within us and around us. And when we tune in to that is all existent, that of course we can never feel alone. And so when we're walking down the street and we're wanting to share this experience with someone, perhaps the snow is falling or we have this profound moment we want to share, call in an angel, call in your guides, call in your imaginary best friend. I still think when we're grown up that we need to have our imaginary friends, our best friends, because sometimes, our needs and demands as empaths, we need a lot of emotional support, and it's hard to ask that from other people. So we need to ask that from our higher selves. We can be our best friend in our everyday life. And so I wanted to share this tool of loneliness with all of you because it actually is quite a gift. And if you are experiencing it, and even more profoundly during this time, it really just indicates that you need to start working and start connecting with your creative self. And first, once you've acknowledged this, then you sit down and you talk to your creative self. Perhaps it's your inner child that needs to play more, or perhaps it's your future self that's telling you to get the tasks done today. So really start having a better relationship with this creative self and really embrace this place of loneliness, because again, it's not loneliness, it's connectedness. And this is where we find our connection with our deeper self that is so much calling for our life to happen by simply just stopping and connecting. And this is the concept of when we finally use the tools of allowing and being, when we allow our creative self to move through us, and when we simply be our existence instead of trying and producing and doing, and we just are being our own divine selves. So I hope this helps during this holiday season and for the rest of your life. I hope you use this tool of loneliness to connect with your deeper magic, because that's when your love story truly begins. Oh, blessed be. And if you want any personal transformation coaching with me, if there's anything specific or you need more tools or advice, I'm your guide. And let me help you connect to your higher self and use these tools, these ancient ways of remembering who you are. Blessed be.